Welcome back everyone to ESL Pro League Season 11, this time for North American region. My name is Jeet and I'll be taking you guys through the action here on the C stream for Swole Patrol versus MIBR in a best of 3. Starting on Vertigo, chosen by Swole Patrol. Second map, Inferno by MIBR. Third and final map, if we get that far, will be Train. Before we get too far into it, just want to remind you guys, we have multiple games going on at the same time. We got Liquid versus EG over on the main channel. On the B channel, it's 100 Thieves versus Furia. Here on the main, or on the C channel, excuse me, it is MIBR versus Swole Patrol. Mayan catching the first here, taking care of Celsus. Good amount of damage dealt, both sides of the aisle actually. Maki got a reaction to the flank, but not good enough. Taco shuts him down. Cooper gonna be pushing forward alongside with Freakazoid. Food is still fairly far back as Cooper and Freakazoid gets taken down. It is now gonna be all on Food with just above 10 HP. Probably not a whole lot left for him to do. Out towards the mid position, right beneath the jump through. Trying to catch anything at all for this one. But it should be a clean pistol going in the favor of MIBR. At least somewhat clean. As Food does manage to find the shot here onto Fallin. KNG lurking, slowly peeking out, and eventually find the frag on Food, securing the pistol in the favor of MIBR. Again, before we get too far into this one, I just want to let you guys know that according to the bookmakers, this is a very close matchup, with MIBR being slightly favorites. And I'll have to say, I have to get behind that. I know that MIBR, they haven't had a lot of success in most recent time. I think that's actually a bit of an understatement. They've not looked good in recent time. I think we can all agree on that, even the MIBR fans. That being said, they should still be able to deal with Swole Patrol in a fairly confident fashion. We're gonna see how that pans out. Obviously, only time will tell. Swole Patrol, they could be a dangerous team here up against MIBR, but we'll see how that pans out. Either way, it is going to be a clean second round in the favor of MIBR as well. They shot down the aggression before it even happens. Going for some aggression of their own and actually taking the fight to Swole Patrol. We do see Fallin going immediately for that early AWP. That gives him an opportunity to shut down this full buy here for Swole Patrol. As it is mostly a bonus for MIBR. They got a lot of SMGs in this round. That could potentially be an issue, at least for this round. It's not a full gun round here for MIBR, of course. Should give Swole Patrol a decent opportunity of finding a round on the board, but again, I'll have to say, in my opinion, and I think according to most other people as well, MIBR, even though they haven't looked great as like in recent time, that they should still be like levels above Swole Patrol. That being said, not entirely sure what that was all about from Taco. No reason to be jumping there. Absolutely none. He doesn't find like a better angle. He doesn't get more information by jumping, so I actually think it was a misclick. I think either he got jump on his mouse wheel and accidentally hit his mouse wheel as he was trying to push forward and check the angle, and did get taken down. It's a bit of a rough one. Fallin posted up with the AWP, patiently waiting for aggression to come his way. Fallin could push out a little bit further, but he needs to be careful because we do have Food in that position, patiently waiting himself. Fallin, as he tries to fall back and find an angle in towards the bomb site, he does get taken down. Celsus taking care of KNG on the potential flank. That means it's now going to be all on Fur and Mayan. Try and see if they can get anything done with these SMGs. I think they're mostly just going to try and see if they can get potentially an exit frag or something of the likes. Other than that, just mostly hold on to their weapons and utility. Celsus, not the greatest spray down I've seen. But hey, he managed to get the job done, taking care of Mayan, shutting him down. Takes a lot of damage in the process, but he's still very much alive. Cooper, not so much. For this round, MIBR do have enough money to reinvest into this one, at least on most of the players. We still got the SMG on Mayan and SMG on Fur, but... well, I think they asked to stop. Yeah, they definitely did. We're gonna have a backup on this one. It is gonna be backed up to 2-1, which is why you see all the players just falling back and with their knives out and looking towards the walls and all that good stuff, throwing weapons out of the map. So we are going to see a bit of a technical timeout for this one to get it backed up. Not entirely sure what happened there. We didn't have anyone drop from the server, so... again, I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened for this one. And why we need to see a backup, but... we will get that backup, so don't worry about it. We'll get this round restarted. To make sure everything is nice and ready. Again, as I pointed out for you guys, you gotta remember we got multiple games going on at the same time, which is why you see that we're in squad mode currently here on Twitch. If you're watching over on YouTube, we're obviously not in squad mode over there, but we also got multiple games going on YouTube. But on Twitch, you can watch in squad mode, you can watch 3 games at the same time. You can pick and choose what chat you wanna join and participate in the conversation in. Right here on the C stream, it is MIBR versus Swole Patrol, and once again over on the B stream, it's 100 Thieves versus Furia. On the main channel, it is Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. MIBR, as mentioned, do have enough to invest into this round. They actually get a slightly better buy in this one. That shouldn't be possible. When you go for a backup, you should technically be forced to buy the same weapons that you had before you called for the backup. Mayan upgrading to the FAMAS instead, and will be Fallin catching the first crack for the round. Cooper. Let's get the trade on Mayan over towards the B bomb site. They need to be careful here. We do have 2 players fairly close by. It's Fallin and Fur. Taco is here in CT as well, and KNG is going for that quick rotation with the AWP. Bomb will get planted by default. They are setting up for the boost, but look at the amount of damage they take from that molly. Cooper burning Fallin and dealing almost, well, just above 50 damage to Fur, actually. Taco up close and personal. Good stuff here from Cooper. Beautiful quad kill for the round. KNG finally answering back with a nice little double here on the AWP, but he is forced to fall back to try and see if he can hold on to that AWP. It will be another round on the board for Swole Patrol. Tying it up at 2, giving them a good opportunity to find the lead at this point, actually. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, it is going to be a bit limited. The amount of money is in the hands and in the bank of MIBR. Don't suspect that we're going to see a force buy here for MIBR. I do suspect that we're going to see pretty much just an eco. That should be the case. Cooper with an absolute brilliant round in the previous one. Doing pretty much everything on his lonesome. Just to let you guys know, I do have 3 eyes today, 2 on the game and 1 on the chat. I want to say to all of you that I appreciate you guys staying active in the chat and for the most part keeping it in English. Good job on that. Thumbs up from me. Taco, beautiful double frag on the USP. Finding the AK-47 as well. And as I said, it's mostly an eco here for MIBR. Pretty much a full eco. They only have that AWP saved from the previous round on KNG. Other than that, it's a full eco with just standard default pistols. They still managed to get a nice little double on Taco very early on. Now the bomb will get planted over by default. Celsus almost getting taken down here. He does go for the shoulder peek, finds the frag on Taco. Freakazoid patient waiting for the flank here, taking care of Mayan. Brings it back to a 3-on-3 situation. Maki still tapping away. That's a nice headshot. Good correction on his aim, taking care of Fallin. Brings it back in the favor of Swole Patrol like it should be, considering the amount of weaponry in the hands of MIBR. Beautiful flashbang thrown by Celsus. That means it's going to be all on KNG, and as he tries to fall back to once again hold on to the AWP, Freakazoid peeks out and shuts him down. Swole Patrol do manage to hold on to the round, even though MIBR had a good start to this one. Taco catching a nice little double. Swole Patrol already with a decent economy behind them. It's not amazing, but they do have a good amount of money on most people. Good enough to be able to buy up even if they lose a round like this. That is definitely going to help them as they push forward. Again, as I mentioned going into this one, I do believe, and it seems like the bookmakers agree with me on this one, that MIBR are the favorites for it. Should be able to take a victory in this one. That being said, Swole Patrol, not a horrible team either, and they've definitely... I mean, they definitely done alright for themselves. They've won half of their games, and in a fairly dangerous North American group. Good stuff here from Mayan, though. A nice little double Fallin and Fur finding one each. That means it's got to be all on food. What is he supposed to do? He was trying to make a move over towards the A bomb site, now going for the rotation back closer towards CT spawn, and eventually going to try for the push in towards the B flank. He needs to flank pretty hardcore at this point as the bomb has been dropped down beneath the staircase up towards B. Obviously going to be a tough one here for Food to bring this one back in the favor of Swole Patrol. We have seen Food before in similar situations. We've seen how good he can be in these clutch situations, but it's not going to happen this time around. Fallin, even though he's fully blinded by his opponent, still managed to get the job done. Just holding down mouse 1, hoping for the best, and landing the shots on the target. MIBR brings it back, tying it up. But as I said, Swole Patrol will have enough money to buy out once again. 3 SGs, an AK and a Galil, and plenty of utility on most of the players. Cooper, the only one who's really missing utility for this one. And as I said, see someone making fun of me in chat for saying that Swole Patrol are not a horrible team. Not entirely sure what that's all about, but they did beat Furia 2-0. More than that, they also won 2-0 over Liquid. So, again, Swole Patrol have already done pretty well for themselves in this season of ESL Pro League. And MIBR, they've done absolutely horrible this season. They've only won 1 game. See, the problem with that is we have so many teams on 6 points there's so many different tiebreakers to take into consideration here. So if MIBR takes the victory in this one, and if Furia and Liquid lose their games, there is actually a chance of MIBR making it through. I haven't quite cleared out the head-to-head tiebreakers, but I'm sure you can find more information about that over at ESL CS. Otherwise, just tweet out at me or ESL, and I'll make sure I tag someone in who can help you answer those questions. Either way, Swole Patrol, this time around, going for the fast aggression up towards the A bomb site. I've heard from Swole Patrol and other teams from the NA region that one of the reasons why they like playing this map is because attacking over at the A bomb site from the ramp position, they find fairly easy in North America. The question is, are they typically scrimming against Brazilians? Sure, even if the Brazilians are playing in North America, they still have a sort of a different play style than the North American lineups typically do. So the question is, will that work, and how many times will it actually work? Swole Patrol do manage to pick up their 4th. That is going to put a lot of pressure here on MIBR, and especially on their economy. Once again, they don't really have a ton of money to work with. Forced to go on an eco for this one. Fur did manage to hold on to his AK from the previous. Gives him the opportunity to get a little bit done for this round at least. Bit of a slow start to the round here for Swole Patrol. Just making sure that they don't run into a stack. They know, or they should know at the very least, that their opponents are going to be a little bit limited in terms of their economy. So it makes sense here for Swole Patrol to just take their time and sort of try and work as a unit. Okay, that works. Beautiful stuff here from Food. Nice little double, catching the triple as well. Fur has taken so much damage and will eventually get taken down here by Freakazoid. Celsus, he's lurking out towards middle. Final player on MIBR is Mayan, who was situated over towards the B bomb site. He's now gonna try and see if he can go for a bit of a flank, potentially find a weapon. The only way he can find a weapon is if he successfully flanks all the way over towards the ramp area and takes care of Freakazoid as well. Because Freakazoid is actually in position for those 2 weapons that were dropped. It's not going to happen here for Mayan. He is setting up for a potential exit frag here. Deals a tiny amount of damage, but barely any, and it won't be enough to take any more down with him. Swole Patrol now in a 2-round lead. Obviously, they are going to be pushing to try and see if they can find a little bit more than just 2-round lead. But it is a good start to this one here for Swole Patrol. I see someone in chat asking if I can talk about the map picks. I'm sure I can. I'll do whatever you guys ask me. That's a lie. I definitely won't. I'm my own man. I can call the shots here. Either way, Vertigo was chosen by Swole Patrol. It is the first map of this best of 3 series. Inferno, the second, chosen by MIBR. Train is going to be the third if it's needed. And I'll have to say, even though, in my opinion and the bookmaker's opinion, MIBR are the favorites for this one, I do see potential of it going to a 3-mapper. But for that to happen, I feel like we gotta see Swole Patrol taking the victory here on Vertigo. I got a feeling that if Swole Patrol somehow loses on Vertigo, then I do believe that MIBR should be able to shut this one down in a 2-0 fashion. Inferno should be somewhat easy pickings for MIBR. Good stuff here from Maki. Does check the angle, does find the frag on Fallin. Taco in the meantime taking care of Freakazoid. Mostly going in the favor of Swole Patrol here, even more so now. Maki getting a little bit lucky through the smoke there, taking care of Taco and dealing a lot of damage on Fur as well. That means that MIBR, the final two players, Fur and KNG, are pretty much forced to fall back. See if they can hold on to their weapons once again and see if they can save those for the next round. The next round is probably going to be mostly an eco for MIBR. Celsus lurking as per usual. He's on a bit of a hunt to try and see if he can take those weapons away from them. Again, I want to preface by saying that Swole Patrol, they've actually managed to rank up a decent amount of money at this point. You can see it on the right hand side here. Even before the round ends, you got 6.5, 7.5 on Maki and Celsus, respectively. Again, so much money in the hands of Swole Patrol here, so obviously rebuying on the single player who lost his life in that round is no issue at all. And even after doing so, they still have so much money behind them. It's gonna be a sort of a tough nut to crack here for MIBR. MIBR already in a bit of a rough spot. We gotta remember, mostly this map is considered T-sided. What I'm trying to say is it's definitely not over yet for MIBR, even though it's not looking amazing at this point. A fairly easy round ahead of them. Fur do manage to catch one on Celsus out towards the mid position. Cooper, he's posted out towards the mid position as well. He finds one, gets the second. That means it's now going to be all on Taco with a Desert Eagle and a Dream. Soon enough, that Dream could die alongside with Taco, as he is going to get pushed from multiple angles. Food is just patient, waiting for Taco to push slightly forward, but he doesn't. Instead, it is going to be Cooper, boosted a buff, who takes him down. I think Cooper was actually the one who was pushing from the ladder room, if I'm not completely mistaken. Either way, Swole Patrol, 7th round on the board. Off to a fairly strong start here on the T side of Vertigo. As I said before going into this one, even though on paper MIBR should be the favorites, we gotta remember that MIBR, they haven't had a good showing here in this season of Pro League. They've played 4 games, they've only won 1 of them. That one... was it against the 100 Thieves, if I'm not completely mistaken? I think I saw that game, actually. I believe it was against 100 Thieves. Yeah, indeed it was. They won 2-0 on that one, but it was fairly close on both maps. So that does indicate that Swole Patrol actually have a pretty good chance of getting something done here. Considering that MIBR have been fairly lackluster this season of Pro League. Well, fairly lackluster in pretty much everything for the last while. It's been a rough patch for MIBR, and I surely hope that they somehow start bringing it back. One can only hope. Good peek from Maki. Beautiful headshot here on Mayon. Finds the second as well. KNG gets taken down. Maki, he spots Fur. Fur does manage to peek out and pick up the frag on Cooper. Fur still looking for a little bit more and finds it. Fallin in the meantime, he takes care of Maki. Freakiosaurus will answer back, but he gets traded out immediately by Taco on the flank. MIBR finally connecting their 4th round on the board. See someone asking why MIBR should be favorites. That's a good question. I want to honor that good question by asking or answering it, excuse me. So MIBR, first of all, there are a bunch of very established players. Vertigo, Fallin, they've played together for quite some time now. KNG, he's played Counter-Strike for quite some time. You remember a while back before the whole situation with him, before the, was it a DreamHack event, where there was a lot of stuff going on. Before that situation, KNG was actually praised as one of the biggest talents in Brazil at that point. So that is something that definitely speaks to MIBR's favor. That being said, as I pointed out, their form recently has been absolutely horrendous. I think we can all agree on that. And due to that, I don't think they're massive favorites. I think it's fairly close to a 50-50 here. And honestly, anything could happen in this game. I still believe that MIBR should be able to take a victory over Swole Patrol. They just have a bit more experience playing against better teams. Yeah, sure, they're not playing good Counter-Strike currently, like in the last, what, couple of months. But even with that, they should still be able to take care of Swole Patrol. But I do suspect a close matchup in this one. I'll give you that much. Let's get back to the action. MIBR with the double op set up this time around. Ooh, missed. A missed molly here from Swole Patrol. That is going to cost them a bit of time as they have to check more angles than they would have had to otherwise. Food and Cooper, they get the opening frags, but the bomb gets denied initially as they're pushing in towards the bomb site. Celsus answers back with one onto Taco. KNG, good positioning here. Very important kill. And again, timer is running low. We got to take that into consideration. But Maki dealing with Mayon, that means it's now going to be all on KNG. KNG taking a tiny amount of damage through the smoke here. Oh, Maki shutting him down eventually through that smoke. Swole Patrol finds yet another round. They're 8th for the half, and already they've secured themselves a halftime victory. And as I mentioned, the map is slightly T-sided, or at least considered slightly T-sided by most players nowadays. MIBR, even though it is typically considered a slightly T-sided map, I would still say that MIBR need a whole lot more rounds on the board here. At the very least 2 more to be just somewhat alright with this first half. MIBR definitely in a bit of a worrisome situation at this point. Mayon did manage to catch one before he got taken down. Maki found a frag of his own before Mayon shut him out. This once again mostly going in the favor of Swole Patrol here, and it makes sense. It is mostly an eco for MIBR. That is not the first time we've seen an MIBR player fall off the map here on Vertigo. Maybe that's why people like to play it against MIBR. Will be enough money for MIBR to buy up once more. Fallin once again with the AWP, and this time around MIBR going for a bit of a untraditional play. They got 3 defenders initially over towards the B bomb site. They do manage to find the success that they were looking for desperately in the first many rounds here. This time around, they do start off on top as KNG finds a nice little double before he's eventually taken down, but Fer getting that trade onto Freakazoid. That means it's all going to be on Celsus and Food. Food, he's already taken a bit of damage. Taco changing up his position, going for the peek into the bomb site. And there he does manage to find the frag, but not before the bomb gets planted. Food does trade him out. And they know roughly where Food is positioned. At least where he was positioned. Food, he's changed up his angle. Almost catching that frag. Should have definitely gotten that, let's be honest. He goes for yet another peek. Finds the frag on Mayan. He's taken a lot of damage, down to just 20 HP. But Fur, will he find the angle? Oh, yes, he will. Or at least he finds the correction and the timing. I mean, I like the idea of trying to throw that kit over on the back of your teammate, but if you were worried about the bomb getting or not being defused, you'd probably have gotten on it yourself. Either way, MIBR do manage to get the defuse and do manage to secure another round on the board. That's going to be their 5th. And as I said, if MIBR can pick up this final round for the first half, I actually think that they're in a pretty decent spot for their own T side. Man, good positioning. Just watching through the grid, whatever that's called, whatever he was standing on there. Watching through it down towards B prep, patiently waiting for his opponent to peek the angle, and as soon as he does, Maki gets taken down. Man, not taking too much damage from that exchange either. That is definitely going to go in the favor of MIBR. At least the first frag did go in their favor, and a good opportunity. Fallin, brilliant collateral shot. Fallin with a quad kill. The king is back. Maybe that's a bit too early to say, but that was a brilliant round from Fallin. Nice peek, lining them up for the collateral, or they more or less lined up for him. Doesn't matter, he still catches the quad kill, and that's quite good. And we are going to be on a bit of a break here for the halftime. And while we are on a bit of a break, I do want once again to remind you guys that you can watch the stream in squad mode. By doing so, you'll be able to follow all the streams going on at the same time here for the final match day of ESL Pro League Season 11 for North American region. We'll be able to watch 3 games at the same time. Obviously, MIBR versus Swole Patrol right here on this channel. Over on the main channel, once again, it is Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. And over on the B channel, it's 100 Thieves versus Furia. I know that Dean and Mitch are taking care of the 100 Thieves versus Furia game. If you want to say hi to them, make sure you tell Mitch that he should definitely rethink his decision about Hawaii pizza. In case you guys didn't know, he likes Hawaii pizza somehow. Don't ask me how. Also, he's very short, but that's not his fault, so I'm not gonna fault him for that. The Hawaii pizza thing, though, that's just inexcusable. As I said, MIBR do manage to catch a couple of rounds towards the end of that first half. That does give them a decent opportunity to actually bring this one back, or at least somewhat. But obviously, for them to be able to do so, they somewhat need to find the pistol here for the second half. If they lose this pistol, there is a real good opportunity for Swole Patrol to potentially run away with this map. MIBR, if they manage to pick up the pistol, that gives them a brilliant opportunity of bringing this one back and making it incredibly competitive towards the end of it. And that is exactly what we expected going into this one. did preface by saying that I do believe it's going to be close here on the two first maps. And there is definitely potential we're only going to see those two maps. I do believe that the game in its entirety is probably going to go in the favor of MIBR. But I've been wrong before. It's happened once or twice in my life, I think. So there is a very, very slight chance that it happens again tonight. We are straight back for the pistol here in the second half, and MIBR going for incredibly fast aggression up towards the A bomb site. This is something that most North American teams like to do, actually. Just go for a very fast aggression in a lot of the rounds over on the ramp area. And it seems to be working out, at least initially. Works out all right here for MIBR. Not tremendously. But they are getting the job done. They are finding the frags. They are getting the bomb planted. They are currently in a one-man favor. As Freakazoid gets taken down, that makes it even better in favor of MIBR. And Taco is going to take the final frag on to Celsus. Shut him down. And pick up the round, the pistol, in the favor of MIBR. As I said, fairly important for MIBR to pick up this pistol. And they do manage to get the job done. Do manage to find that pistol. And give them a pretty good opportunity of bringing this one back and potentially tying it up. Swole Patrol gonna be on a full eco, and that indicates that they want to go for a force buy in the next round. I call it a force buy because they're not gonna have all the utility that they would like. They're not gonna have the AWP. They're gonna be lacking in sort of a couple of aspects if they go for the buy in the next round. Yeah, full eco here for Swole Patrol. Not something you see all that often nowadays. For the second round on the CT side, at least. It is fairly typical on the T side of it. But good burst. Catches a second, now a third. Looking for a little bit more, but eventually he will get taken down. But a nice triple on an SMG. That's going to rank up a good amount of money for him. Celsus and Freakazoid. Probably not a whole lot for them to do. Celsus gets taken down. Fallin. Oh, he takes care of Freakazoid as well. Good reaction here from Fallin. Fallin finding a nice little double on an SMG of his own. Again, giving a decent amount of money in the hands of MIBR to start off with. And as I said, Swole Patrol, they indicated that they wanted to go for the buy in this round, and they do decide to do that. But as pointed out, that means they're not going to have a whole lot of utility. We can see they do have the smokes. They got 4 of those. Only 1 incendiary, though. Only 1 flashbang, which is a big problem, in my opinion. They don't have any diffuse kits, so they cannot allow for the bomb to get planted. Oh, wow. That double nade. Freakazoid somehow survives on just 1 HP. That's absolutely insane. That amount of damage. Beautiful. Beautiful double nade. Nade in the opposite direction doesn't really do much over towards the B bomb site. Freakazoid trying to pinpoint the location of the shots right beneath him. Realizing, yes, it is over towards A prep. Obviously, Freakazoid has fallen back to try and see if he can give himself a decent opportunity of holding on to his life, at least for a little bit longer. Yeah, with that, Cooper and Food, they both get taken down by Taco, and now Fur puts a lot of pressure on Swole Patrol for this round. As Fur He's gonna be pushing forward, inching his way forward, trying to connect the shots here. Oh, the flashbang kill? Oh, please. Valve, if there was ever a time for you to work in the favor of the broadcaster, if there was ever a time for the caster's curse, it should have been then. In the meantime, the bomb is actually getting planted over on the B bomb site. Swole Patrol, I think they're just realizing... Wait, I thought they attacked A. You're right, they did initially, but now they changed it up. Okay, good reaction here from Celsus, taking care of Fallin. So the round is going to go in the favor of MIBR, but at the very least, Celsus and Maki will be able to find a lot of kills here, dealing a lot of economic damage. And they actually take care of the entire side of MIBR, as they all went for a bit of a hunt. Two players surviving for Swole Patrol. That means that both of those players can drop a weapon of their own, actually giving Swole Patrol a better buy than they had in the previous... Well, a very similar buy to what they had in the previous round. We do have a bit of a timeout getting called here. Timeout called by Swole Patrol. MIBR has now tied it up at 9. Tactical timeout brought to you by US Air Force. As I said, Swole Patrol taking that tactical timeout just to figure out, do they actually want to force buy into this round? Do they want to go for an eco? And they do decide to go for the force buy. Makes pretty good sense. As I said, fairly similar buy to what they had previously, but obviously a bit more utility, and also they got the AKs, which gives them one-shot potential. Fairly important. AKs and SGs on the CT side in CSGO is a pretty good thing. Bit of a slow start to the round here for MIBR. Fallin did take a tiny amount of damage early on. Frag onto Taco. Still here, he took a lot of damage, but he deals a bit back. He finds the frag on the Freakazoid. Fallin taking care of food eventually. And Cooper answering back with one onto KNG. Fallin still trying to find an angle here with that AWP, and he does exactly that. Needs to be careful. Celsus is posted up above on the self boost. Cooper inside the smoke. The bomb will eventually get planted. Celsus sets up for the retake smoke, and he blinds up the shot through that smoke. Smoke getting dished out, that retake one. Cooper trying through the smoke to find the bomb for the potential defuse, but Mayan is posted up over by sandbags. Mayan could come up big time for this one. He finds one, quickly taken out, but Cooper fairly lucky to survive on just 8 HP. Swole Patrol do manage to answer back and get double digits as the first team. And they might be out. Not an amazing amount of money in their hands. They're pretty much forced to go for an eco for this one. Actually giving Swole Patrol a pretty good opportunity to string a couple of rounds together. They've already retaken the lead, and now they're trying to extend it even further. Should be able to as well. Real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to one of you guys who helped me out with the tiebreaker situation. The outcomes, potential outcomes for this one over on Twitter. Thank you so much. But it's very... I'm not going to be running it down here on stream because there are a lot of potential outcomes. What I do want to say is, to those of you guys who are interested in the potential outcomes, you can head over to my Twitter. I've retweeted what was tweeted to me. You can find all the information over there. Celsus, beautiful quad kill on an SMG. It's gonna rank him in a lot of cash for the round. And as I said, fairly simple round here for Swole Patrol, especially considering that MIBR were on an eco of their own. But yeah, very close game thus far, and it's been fairly back and forth this game. We have seen a couple of good moves from both sides of the aisle, and I must admit, I'm pretty impressed by Swole Patrol thus far. Not necessarily super surprised. Swole Patrol is a fairly strong team, all things considered, and they have done pretty well here for this season of ESL Pro League North America. So I mentioned, sure, they're currently on 4th place, but it's a tied 4th place between 4 different teams. And Swole Patrol have actually done all right, especially considering the teams that they've been up against. Maki, good first, but he's the only one to get anything done. Quickly traded out. They find the frag on Celsus and Freakazoid as well. That means it's now going to be all on Cooper with the AWP and Food with the M4 to try and see if they can bring this one back in the favor of Swole Patrol. They've actually immediately decided to just fall back, see if they can hold on to those weapons for the next round and concede the round to MIBR. That's honestly a pretty good decision for them. MIBR do manage to find double digits as well, and 4 players staying alive here for MIBR, or at least that's what it looks like it's gonna be. We do have one going for a bit of a hunt here. KNG, actually a lot of the players going for a bit of a hunt, but KNG, he finds the frag on Cooper. Oh my god, KNG finding the one on Food as well. I'm a little bit sad that we missed those. KNG with the nice double towards the end there, making sure that Swole Patrol cannot hold on to their weapons, and making sure that this buy is going to be fairly limited for Swole Patrol. Very important stuff from KNG to decide to go for the hunt and shut them down. That's exactly what MIBR needed for that round. Exactly what they need to try and bring this one back and tie it up once again, perhaps. Man, good opening frag onto Maki. Takes a decent amount of damage in the process, down to roughly 50. In the meantime, the rest of MIBR, they are going for the aggression in towards the A-bomb side. Fur and KNG catching one each. Fur is going to be doubling down. Now all on Celsus. Obviously, Celsus, there's no reason for him to throw the CZ75, the Kevlar, and the smoke away. He's not too worried about the CZ75, of course, as the next is going to be the buy round. But can he hold on to the Kevlar and the smoke? That will give him a bit extra utility to work with for that next round. But most of all, I do believe that he's just trying to set up 4 potential exit frags and hoping that someone goes for a chase and he can take him down and potentially pick up his weapon. Doesn't happen, unfortunately, here for Celsus. But he will be able to hold on to the Kevlar and the smoke. Again, that does give him some extra utility to work with. And obviously, he is going to be upgrading to that M4. He actually has enough money for a Diffuse kit. Please buy it. Please buy a Diffuse kit, Celsus. Come on, mate. Sitting with exactly enough money for it. And he doesn't get it. And they don't have a Diffuse kit because of it. It's one of those small things, and obviously they're hoping that they can shut MIBR down before MIBR get in towards the bomb site and for that plant. There's no reason not to get it. Good aggression coming through from KNG, pushing out in middle, shift walking all the way through, silently not throwing any utility. Oh, Cooper, beautiful double here. Celsus finding one as well, brings it back slightly in the favor of Swole Patrol, even more so now as Maki connects on to KNG. That puts a lot of pressure on Fallin as he's going to try and see if he can clutch this one out in a 1-on-3 situation, but he doesn't check the angle. He does find one onto Celsus. Food should have taken the shot a little bit earlier. There was no reason not to, honestly. Fallin, because Food didn't take that shot a little bit earlier, does manage to find one frag, but quickly traded out. Swole Patrol finds their 12th round. Well, maybe I was a bit harsh on Swole Patrol there on Celsus for not buying a Diffuse kit. Apparently they didn't need it. All the players here just throwing down bullets. It's raining bullets through that smoke. Who takes a decent amount of damage, but Fallin, he takes a whole lot. And you saw there the bomb got dropped down in the elevator shaft. But a nice little mechanic from CSGO or for Valve, from the developers, means that the bomb gets reset if it gets thrown off the map here on Vertigo. Good nade toss to take care of Fallin. Taco has taken a good chunk of damage as well. Taco is setting up for the molly. Gives him a better opportunity to clear this angle. Should be able to do exactly that. Food gets flashed into the position though. Food very low on HP, should get taken down, and indeed he will. Taco shuts him out. Fur with a good frag onto Cooper. Is now back to a 3-on-4, actually favoring MIBR at this point. Fur taking a bit of damage here. Another smoke coming through. Mayan almost connecting that shot through the plywood up towards the high ground. He is looking for a little bit more, trying to connect the shots. Celsus, Freakers on Maki at this point probably just going to fall back. And that seems to be the case as well. 12-12. As I mentioned, a very exciting game. It has been for the pretty much the entire time of it. Terrorists win. MIBR do manage to answer back. Tying it up once more. At this point, Swole Patrol again in a bit of a troublesome situation in terms of their economy. They should definitely just go for the eco, even though it's very tempting to invest into the round when you have 3 rifles, and you can almost justify force buying in this one. But if they do that, they would put them in a very rough spot for the next one if they lose it. So this is definitely the better decision. Not the greatest nade here, but it does deal a bit of damage on Maki. Barely any, though. Taco posted up. Good positioning, patiently waiting for any aggression to come his way as he's sitting right on the edge of the smoke there. Taco taking care of Cooper. That was one of the pistols, though. It's not the biggest deal for Swole Patrol. They do have an opportunity to answer back in a round like this when they have the AK and the SG. You all know how strong the SG is on the T side, but it's definitely strong on the CT side. It means you can just... It's basically a mini AWP with automatic fire. Automatic fire rate. Freakazoid, beautiful double. Eventually he does get traded out. KNG jumping on top of the boxes, connects onto Maki, and Fallin with the final one through the edge of the smoke there. There you have it, MIBR in the lead now, 13-12. Do want to apologize about losing my voice. Been a little bit sick over the last couple of days, and It's scary, I must admit. It's really scary, but we'll get through this one together. I promise you. We'll be alright. Swole Patrol, due to going for a bit of an eco in the previous round, they will have enough to buy up completely for this one. Cooper, once again with the AWP, and that's fairly important, excuse me. Cooper has been pretty strong with the AWP, but Food, again, slight misstep from Food, costing him his life, and Fur with the double entry towards the 8-bomb side. Fallin finding one as well. Celsus and Maki, what are they supposed to do? That's a good question, and I think the more important question here is, how is this going to pan out for Swole Patrol? I mentioned before going into this one that there is potential for a fairly quick 2-0. Just want to repeat myself. I've seen you guys already saying that I repeat myself a bit too much, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, as I said, this is the first map chosen by Swole Patrol, which should give them a bit of an advantage on this map. And I would say they've had a bit of an advantage. They've had potential in multiple situations to actually shut this one down in a fairly strong fashion. What I mean about that is, they've lost a couple of rounds they probably shouldn't have lost. They've lost a couple more players in the rounds that they should have. They have a 75% win rate on this map going into this game. Obviously, they are typically playing a different level of players than MIBR. But the next map, Inferno, is probably going to be a very rough one for Swole Patrol. If this map goes in the favor of MIBR, there's definitely a good chance of a 2-0. But again, we got to see how that pans out. Swole Patrol. Bit of an eco round for this one. Do manage to find the first as Celsus connecting onto KNG. Fur does manage to answer back with a frag onto Freakazoid, but Cooper, not only capable of hitting shots with the AWP, he can also do it with a Desert Eagle. Making a nice headshot there. Mayan, in the meantime, he's going to be trying to open up in towards the B bomb site. Does that successfully, at least for now. There is another player somewhat close by, but Fur is actually going to be pushing in with the bomb, going for the plant. Three on three situation. Definitely still potential here for Swole Patrol. Even though they were mostly in an eco, they've managed to pick up a couple of weapons. That actually gives them a decent opportunity to potentially find something for this one. That's such an important kill here for Fur, and the timer is running low. There's no more time for Food unless he finds the frag right now, and he won't. He does not have a kit, so he won't be able to get the defuse. The round does indeed go in the favor of MIBR, pushing them to 15. Now sitting on map point here on the first of this best of 3 series. Swole Patrol, they need 3 rounds in a row to push this one into OT and bring this one back. Again, very tough situation here for Swole Patrol on their own map choice. MIBR with a brilliant opportunity now. Obviously, incredibly important round here for Swole Patrol. They need to find 3 in a row, as I pointed out. If they fail to do so, it is going to be MIBR taking the victory on the first of the series. And then after a short break, we are going to be heading into Inferno. And MIBR Sitting pretty right now. But it is a fairly solid buy here for Swole Patrol. They are lacking a tiny amount of utility, but does that actually matter? Food, good first frag onto Taco, shutting him down early. It's a very important kill here for Food. Food just jump peeking. Oh, Fur, that's such a strong peek onto Cooper, shutting him down. Cooper, no chance at all. Checking the angle here with the molly. They are going to be pushing closer towards the A-bomb site. Celsus is going to move in to try and stop this from happening. Food has taken a good chunk of damage. He's sitting right behind the plywood wall. MIBR yet to go in towards the bomb site, actually, and they are patiently trying to go for the peaks and just trying to shut down the initial hold. Maki trying to find something over towards the B bomb site, or at least just checking whether they actually fell back or not. Pretty good couple of mollies here. Could spread to Food, and it will slightly, but it actually extinguish right as it spreads. Food does manage to find one. Quickly traded out by Fur, and now indeed the bomb will get planted. It's all on Maki, and this should be a 16-12 in just a moment. And yes, it will be KNG, excuse me, shutting down the final player. That will do the trick. GG, well played. We are going to be heading to a short break, as I mentioned. When we return, it will be with Inferno. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.